guys. Um, I want to believe we are having an amazing weekend. Um, I Before we go on, um, let's be sure we are actually live on Facebook because we are testing this new platform that streams us on Facebook, YouTube, and so be patient. Let's confirm if we are on this platform. Um, um, Sorry, Uyi,
Yep,
I wish you are using a headphone.
a headphone.
Hope,
Okay, you can't hear
uh,
me.
hope the
My
audio is not
headphone.
disturbing you from there.
No, no, no audio is disturbing. But you can hear me clearly, right?
Perfectly clearly. Okay, we are
Fine.
showing on Facebook right now. So
Okay,
they can view us on Facebook.
just
So
send me the share.
let me send you the link for Facebook to share to your community. Do you YouTube one?
Maybe both is fine. We'll just share both.
Okay, then let me share both. Um, Hey guys, I we are trying to still use this strategy to wait for you guys to come in because this session is going to be a tactical one. I would like us to come in early and take notes. We don't want to be selfish, so we want to be as selfless as possible. Um, Uyi is somebody that is a man of little words. He doesn't say much, but if you touch him in the right spot, the things he has passion for, he will begin to speak with his entire heart. So I'm gonna get the link to the YouTube. Now I've gotten that. Let me share it to you. So that's a link to YouTube. Uh, awesome.
Oh, okay.
Uh, so when you are good to go, let me know.
Okay, just a moment. Let me share this on.
Definitely, I'll wait. I'll wait. Um, it
Okay.
says not just us.
Yeah.
If it was for us, we would have started and would have started going. We would have zoomed off if it was for us,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Hello, guys. There's a question around land. I used to have this very good friend of mine. He's a wise man. He makes this statement: um, you are either tilling the land or you are building the land. You get.
Yep.
Um,
True.
I see a lot of campaigns around climate change, try to cover the land. For myself, the land actually heals itself. We are just scared that when the land begins to heal itself, it's going to destroy us. Like there will be earthquake, there will be a lot of floods and all that. It actually heals itself. But we are not going towards that area. We are going towards the area you can actually exit the land for for the good of others and for the good of the land, for what it is meant to do. You either till the land or you build the land. Tilling the land or building the land actually creates wealth. So we are saying wealth in the land. Uh, is there still a land filled with milk and honey? Today we'll find out if we still have land filled with milk and honey. We have an awesome guest. We've had a few communications back and forth. He has been an amazing person. So I will introduce to you Uyi Asemota. Uyi, how are you doing?
I'm very fine, my brother. Nice to be here.
I am super amazing because I don't want to come here and form an expert and go to read what I saw on Google to now gist with them and say, oh, Agric is like this, the land is like this, and all that. I thought, why don't
Exactly.
I just call someone that is an expert, someone that is willing to share, to come
Yeah.
share with us? You understand? But before we
Yeah.
dive
True.
in, can you tell us a little about yourself, your backstory, how you come into this, how you came into this business, how you actually came in?
All right. Good evening. My name is Uyi Asemota. Please, you pardon me. I get tired talking, but I'll pick up with time. Yeah. How did I get into agribusiness and what I do presently? Initially, when I wanted to, when I was in school, the fantasy of every child is to either be a medical doctor, lawyer, engineer, or I think lawyer, engineer, medical doctors, and maybe pilot or something. So when I was actually younger, what I wanted to do was a robotic engineer. So I was keen at becoming an engineer, and just I was pushing that. But unfortunately for me, I did not pass them on time, and I had to do pre-degree at the Federal University of Technology at Korea. So I was hoping
Okay.
to do engineering, and I did pre-degree, hoping to get food science and technology, and at the end of it, I was doing forestry and wood technology. So that actually introduced me to a bit of agriculture. Forestry and wood technology is close to agriculture and stuff like that. But in the process
Yeah.
of studying agriculture, I took interest in the process of studying forestry and wood technology. I took more interest in GIS, Geographic Information System, and ICT.
Mm-hmm.
So I was more of an ICT, trying to do more in ICT and GIS. And I actually started my first business. My first consulting business was in ICT and GIS, Geographic Information System, and I set up a business around that even before I left campus. And I was doing that full time before I got out, and it also shaped how I went for NYSC and stuff like that. And as a youth service, I was already consulting for GIS, for the Ministry of Environment and some other
Awesome.
big talk shows like and stuff like that. But where did I turn back to, like, oh fine, agriculture was a thing and stuff like that. The more I try to, I'm more of a rural person. I go to the rural areas and stuff like that. I do a lot of my work in the rural areas. I saw a kind of like a potential that was largely untapped, especially by young persons. So I kept asking myself questions: why are young people not getting into agriculture? Why are they not utilizing this stuff? And something that really touched me in 2016, thereabouts, after I just left the job I was doing at 2015, I was actually in a job, like, I don't want to name that right now. So in
Mm-hmm.
2016, I was doing a disability study in Abuja, and it just came to me, and like, most young persons don't want to go into agriculture because most of them see agriculture as a form of punishment, as like a job for the low class, and they don't want to get involved. One of the greatest insults you can give to a child or a youth on the street is like, look at his head, he's like a farmer. They can fight you for that because they don't want to be associated with that. Whereas this is a profession that generates the food every one of us eat. Without agriculture, without farmers, we can't eat. Even if you want to go and grow in the lab, I think we'll talk much about the different forms of agriculture. So it hits me that why are these people not getting into agriculture? And then I discovered that some of these persons that are running from the rural areas and going to
Yeah.
the urban areas end up doing a form of agriculture. And I will explain. Most of these guys leave the rural areas. They come to the
Mm-hmm.
urban cities. Like they try to cope with the life in the urban cities. These guys don't have any skills. The only skills they have is actually agricultural skills, which they have been able to use to practice. They put the seed on the floor. In Nigeria and in all of West Africa, where anywhere you put the seed, it grows, and you just and stuff like that. Most of these guys are armed with that knowledge. They come to the
Mm-hmm.
city, they try to live the city life, they cannot. So they
Mm-hmm.
end up being relegated to doing menial jobs, which includes clearing of grasses and maintaining flowers in the city. In the villages,
Yeah.
they do that to get food and have some money, but in the city, they are not doing it for just peanuts or sometimes just for a place to lay their heads in the Gitma house. So I asked myself, why don't we look for a way of taking these people back to the villages and teach them the rudiment of agriculture? That was how my NGO sprang up, and we started doing stuff in that line of trying to talk to young persons and trying to pull them into agriculture and try to teach them. But I discovered that there was a problem, which brings us to what we are talking about today.
Awesome.
Which
Let me even let me take you back a step back.
okay,
You were saying something. You were trying to get into school to study engineering. Now,
yes, yeah,
this is
engineering.
cool. I, I will not apologize for this question. Now, this is cool.
All right.
Is it because you didn't hack it into that system, you now thought of a different option? Because it may seem like because you didn't hack into that option, into that first one,
Yeah,
you now begin
yeah.
to look for this. So, what were you thinking? What was the thought process? What moved you from that stage of okay, if I can't get this, let me go for this? This is the reason
My
I asked
case.
that question. This is the reason
All
I asked
right,
that question.
all
Nobody wants
right.
to fill their jam questionnaire and choose
Yeah,
agric engineering
Agric.
or
Yeah,
agric
yeah.
science. Nobody wants to do
True.
that. So I want to find out the thinking of the normal Nigerian or African person going into agric and trying to do this thing.
The normal
So
thinking, right? For me, right? At that
yeah,
time, I don't want to be in the midst of my fellow those who left secondary school together, and
yeah,
you ask this one, where are you? I say, oh, okay, I'm in UI studying medicine. Where are you? I don't want to come out and tell them, wow, I'm studying agric. Why? It
uh
looks
huh,
shameful and downtrodden. Like, oh, I even remember even when I was doing forestry, one of the things they called us then was foolishness and waste of time, because it was forestry and wood technology, FWET. They refer to us as foolishness and waste of time. How do you come to school 5 years to read about trees, to read about crops and
mm-hmm,
stuff like that? So it's something not worth it. So we've grown up with this mentality of it not being a cause that is befitting because it's not a white collar job. So in a way to pacify myself,
mm-hmm,
then I started calling the job green collar job. So most of the time when I'm talking to young persons now, I tell them about green collar job, not just white collar job. Agriculture is a green collar job, and guess what? That green collar job is far far better than a white collar job, and I can prove that in many ways. You know, so it's a case of perception. There's a lot of negative perception about agriculture. And I also don't blame them because most of the agriculture these persons have been introduced to agriculture, sustainable agriculture, and most of the persons into it are doing it as an alternative or a passing phase towards where they are moving to. So that
yeah,
brought me to the essence of trying to think about how to be innovative about agriculture, how to get the young persons to understand that agriculture can be profitable and done as a business. So me and my team, we started putting this together to treat agriculture as a business. So whoever we are bringing into agriculture, we teach them to take agriculture as a business. So we start teaching them how to look at the profit and loss and to look at the some whatever, quantifying everything they do with the aim of making profit and bettering their lives. I think that's what was missing in the early stage where our forefathers went into agriculture. Most of them just go into it and basically whatever they see, they take from it. There's no plan that goes into the beginning and the plan that goes into the middle and trying to follow the value chain. I think that's what majorly our talk today will be on, following the value chain and being able to maximize them from at every point. Yeah. So I
yeah,
think that's
yeah.
it.
I think the conversation will now begin to come from the point where people feel like agric is worth this price and the
Yeah.
oil sector is worth this
What the
price.
price? Yeah.
Now, before we go into that detail of how much it is, let's say we begin to calculate how much you export agric product per ton, and
Yeah.
then what was it called? The oil product per ton, and what you
Pattern. Yeah.
make, then we'll begin
Yeah.
to understand what that conversation is. But before we
Exactly.
go into that, can you tell us about your company
All right.
and the business in that area?
I presently run supplies.ng. Supplies.ng is an agro product sourcing,
Yeah.
processing, and supplies company. So we act as a bridge between the farmers and the industries that need agro produce. Because one, we are trying to solve the problem of farmers not having a ready market for their products. So we try as much as possible to ensure that before a farmer goes to the field, or when a farmer is in the field is planting, we are assuring them that there is a company or an individual or a business that needs their products that we can easily connect them with in the city. And so we are also playing the role of helping the manufacturing industry to ensure that their manufacturing continues without it hurting. Most of before now, we've always heard of cases where factories don't know where to get their raw materials from, so they resort to importing and trying to augment, and it affects their production. So we try to fill that gap at supply.ng to ensure that we get products from the farm down to where it is needed in the factory to manufacture every other product. So that's one of the things we do with supply.ng, and that I'll tell you about. Yeah. Oh, can you hear me? I don't know what it is. Oh wow, I think it's what? Oh wow. Oh, Raman is can Raman join again? Oh, okay. I think we just wait for Raman to join to come back. He seems to be.
Hi.
Oh, yeah,
Hello.
yeah, back.
The-
Yeah, I can
I
hear
don't know if
you.
you lost me
Network,
there,
yeah.
right?
Yes, I
Yeah, my
did.
network went off. I don't know what happened.
Oh,
Yeah, I had to switch to a
yeah.
different network. I usually have two
Oh,
networks.
okay,
Immediately I noticed it was my network. It switched off.
okay.
Now,
Oh,
this is while you were saying that, I was thinking, what is the issue? For example, things are going very high in the market.
yeah.
Um, and then most of our producers, the farmers, are focused on exporting. So
All right.
we don't understand that we don't understand what is happening. So most of our producers have put focus on exporting, and then things are going up in the market, and everybody is
Yeah,
saying the farmers are not working. Is it that the
yeah,
farmers are working and looking at the dollar exchange and want to make money in dollars, or
yeah.
that they don't even have enough to export, and then they're just focusing on in house? So what is the challenge? What is going on? Why the chaos of lack of food?
I think a whole lot of stuff is responsible for that. I think you don't even need to be an agric person to even understand that. It's not like the farmers are selfish and want to just farm and put the product together and export it. It's not even all our products that is exportable, and
Yeah.
it's not a case of the farmers want to make more money, right? There are even farmers that are even happy for people to consume their stuff. You visit a farmer on the field, he's ready to give you his stuff and say, go and eat and stuff like that. I have met a whole lot of farmers that way. But a
Yeah.
whole lot is responsible for, especially in the cities. Uh, in terms of transportation, one of the biggest problem of agro produce and farming in West Africa, per se, is the issue of agro transporting goods from where
Okay.
it is produced down to where it is being needed, consumed, is always an Herculean task. Like you have to spend so much. There have been cases, supply.ng have had that issue of sometimes you want to take a product as small as, let me just use as small as maize, for example,
Mm-hmm.
from the
Yeah.
producing point in the north to the south. The worth of the maize, for example, can be 100,000. And what you will need to take it from the north to the south is like 400,000. So at the end of it, you have a case where the final consumers will have to absorb that price of transportation of that
Yeah.
bill. So at the end of it, if the maize eventually gets to, let's say, Benin, for example, you
Mm-hmm.
are going to have to pay that 100,000 plus 400,000 that you used to transport it. So the price goes higher. So I think the solution to that would be everyone getting into agriculture, right? Everyone, every state and every cities, there are
But,
persons that
but,
so that
but
when the point of production,
we can't all get into agriculture. Some people
no, we
have
can't
flair for
all get into
fashion.
yes,
Some people
yes,
have
we
flair
can,
for engineering. No, not we can't all
yeah.
get into agriculture. So
No,
what
we can't all
is
get
it?
into agriculture, but we
Yeah.
can support, we can to a large extent ensure that there is food sufficiency by persons, a single person getting into agriculture or a support for those that are already into agriculture in that vicinity. Let me give you a scenario.
Okay.
Yeah, as small as ugu leaf, right?
Yeah.
Vegetables, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone depends on the farmer that is planting maybe 100 kilometers away from that point, right? Whereas, can't you imagine a situation where you have 100 hectares of one plot of land or two plot of land in your house? They
Yeah.
plant you can only build in one plot. Let's use that one. There's one plot left. Most of the time, what we do in this part of the world is we concrete the remaining part of it, and we put ties all over the place, right? Whereas,
Mm-hmm.
what think of a situation where a part of the land is used as home and you plant some vegetables there. Will you need to
Okay.
depend on a vegetable that was transported for 4 days before it gets there and you say it's no longer fresh? And one of the big problems is agro commodity wasting by decays and every of this getting rotten on the way because most of this stuff have short shelf life. So if
Yeah.
we resort to both urban and rural agriculture in the different forms of it. I think I'll still talk more about that when we're discussing the value chain. Both rural,
Okay.
there can be agriculture that is done in both the rural and the urban area. For example, these vegetables I told you about. Instead of planting flowers all over the place in your house, you can actually plant something you can eat. Now
Yeah.
we even persons to raise vegetables in cement bags. Okay, you have concreted your floors, and as the case may be, okay, get cement bag, put sand in it, and put this in it, and put potato, and put onions, and put stuff, and in your compound, so you can actually also get from that. And so there's the a whole lot of ways you can ensure that you solve that. But as much as possible, we encourage the farmers to produce so more, right? So much so that at least we want to earn revenues from export. We cannot say because persons foods are lacking in the city, we will discourage export. No, we want to make revenue from export, and that revenue will be used to further enhance the activity of the farmers. So we want more farmers. We want farmers, existing farmers, to do more, and we want new
Yeah.
farmers to come forward. Yeah, and that
Yeah.
will solve. And that will solve.
Awesome. I know that fast forward till date, you've gotten some
Yeah,
data running this business. Like
yeah,
how much is it per is it in kilo or in tons
yeah,
to export
yeah,
agri products? Now,
yeah,
this is a competition thing. This is agri versus petroleum oil because
yeah.
oil and gas is seen
Oh,
as a boom.
are
So
we going to really do
yeah,
this?
no.
Yeah.
Why we do this? This is tiny little actions. Now I'm
Okay.
saying wealth in the land. Is there wealth in the land?
Yeah.
Is if we say yes, is it just in the oil that we drill? Because
No.
as far as I'm concerned, we don't
Yeah.
even have the oil because we send out the raw oil and then
Yeah.
we bring it back
We bring
like
it
we
the
are buying
refined
it
product.
like the refined product like we're buying it back. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've missed out on all the value chain,
Yeah.
the the things that you're supposed to throw away that should make other products. We missed out on
Yeah.
all of that. Now
Yeah.
let's put that side by side agric.
Yeah.
You get what is the value of agric for yesterday, today, and our future? compared to the oil and gas industry?
yeah.
What is the value if you put it side by side? Because this argument might decide to make people want to go into agribusiness and see it as a white collar job or a green collar job, like you rightly put it.
Yeah, Raman, I think for everyone that have to a very large extent read about the history of Nigeria, and let me even say the history of most West African countries, you will know
Awesome.
that going back, you said back, now, and the future. Going
Yeah.
backward, you know that agriculture was a mainstay, not like the mainstay of most of these countries. They built most of the empires we call the good yesteryears, that we still see today and say we hope, oh wow, and stuff like that from
The
agriculture,
granite,
right?
the granite pyramid
The
was the
granite
richest.
pyramid in the north, the granite pyramid in the
Was the
north in
richest.
Nigeria,
Yeah.
the cocoa in the southwest, and palm oil in the south, and it was these were different products that were used to build what we call the old past glory that so many persons still refer to. Agriculture has so much revenue earning ability that was so much explored then, and it was utilized for the good of the nation. But immediately fuel was discovered. We know all the stories that went into it. We became lazy in terms of focusing on agriculture and trying to till the ground and stuff like that. That's why it now seemed as if fuel was now more of the most essential commodity. And in my village, for example, my village in Edo State here, we used to be predominantly farmers. Right now, you go to that village or local community, you will not see a
Yeah.
farmer because they are draining oils all over the place, and it's seen as more important than the rest. But looking at you talked about we should examine it to the present. We all
Yeah.
know how much this has affected us as a nation, and we are seeing the obvious signs that this is no longer a way to go. It is creating more problem than it's supposed to be a solution. And now everybody is talking about the diversification, and the only option, see again, the countries is shouting and say we are not getting enough revenue, we are not getting enough stuff, and the government is looking. The only way they can also look at again is agriculture. That's to tell you that was supposed to be the point. Oil was supposed to just be an addition to what we are doing because they just get it from a part of the land and the drill and stuff like that. So, oh, he's gone again. Okay, Raman.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm here. I'm with you.
All right. So agriculture is what it's still looking at. In future, agriculture will become the mainstay again. And now I can no longer. I don't need to say much about how much the whole world is moving from fossil to green energy, right? And green energy, do your research. Most of green energy is built around agriculture and agricultural waste and agricultural products. So a time is coming where even the role that oil is playing presently, right?
Yeah.
Agricultural
Yeah.
produce will be playing it. So why don't we act smart enough for us to be able to?
Let me even add to this. Let me add to this. The biotech we
All
are
right,
moving towards and the sustainability we are moving towards is hugely going to be
build
impacted by
build on
agriculture.
agriculture. So we really
Yeah.
need to. Well, I think this will help younger persons that are looking for where to get into, and those that are looking to start looking in that direction. There are a whole lot of value chain in agriculture and a whole lot of opportunities, right? That is available that you can plug yourself into. So give me 100% right now. The first question I'm going to ask them is, what's your interest? As you're telling me about your
Yeah.
interest, I'm thinking through the line of agri where you can fit in. Not everybody can go and till the soil. No, not everybody should go and till the soil. Not everybody should go and transport goods from the village. Not everybody should transform. Not everybody should eat a particular. You understand? So there is a whole lot.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of value chain that persons can get into. So agriculture is a whole robust kind of profession that can solve our problem completely, right? So in future, we need to embrace. So
It's
whatever
actually
we
a
do
crazy
now,
it's actually a crazy thing because I run a food business and I realize
yeah,
palm oil,
yeah,
most of the things I use, I need to actually go to the farm, get them. Even
yeah,
if I get them in excess, I realize
yeah,
there is a customer base for that will need the palm oil.
yeah,
So I used to cook my meal and then I sell the rest. You get,
Yeah.
and a lot of
See,
other products that I cannot mention. So
for food business,
why can't somebody say I cannot farm, I cannot till the ground, I cannot operate
yeah,
the machines, but I
yeah,
can go to the market like your brand is doing. I can go to the
yeah.
market, pick this at this price, and bring it out.
I
You
think
get,
just like
and then
a way of like maybe also giving your viewers a kind of like some, let me just say, some tips. See,
yeah,
there's a whole lot of stuff you can do in this with food and business. You can never go wrong if you know what you're doing. Honestly.
that's true.
So there was a lady that said I should mentor her and stuff like that. She really could not get me for close to like 2 weeks. I kept because of the time. So when she was talking with me, she's from Cross River State, Akwa Ibom, and she stays in Akwa Ibom. So when she was talking and like she needs what to do and stuff like that, I started thinking, I was like, you're in Akwa Ibom. And
Hmm.
you live in Akwa Ibom. I was like, wow. You know you are sitting on a gold mine. She was like, what was that? I said, the best palm oil is gotten from that region. The best crayfish is getting from that region, right? The best periwinkle is gotten from that region. Why not work on going to the villages where these are done and get them at cheap prices and sell it to us in Lagos
Look,
at this
Uyi,
way? She was like, it's
it's
clean.
easy for you. It's easy for you to say because you're already doing it.
Yeah.
Now, which brings me to this conversation.
All
What
right.
what are you going to tell somebody that is like my let me even bruise their let me not bruise their ego. Let me support the
Okay.
ego thing. You get?
Okay.
I don't like this. I studied this. I'm an
Okay.
economist.
Yeah.
I'm a petroleum engineer. I'm
Yep.
a nurse. I'm a medical doctor. I'm an
Mm.
architect.
Yeah.
I I I love agric, I love
Mm.
farming, but I don't want
Yeah.
people to see me as a farmer.
Yeah.
I don't want
Yeah.
people to see me dirty. I want
Yeah.
to dress well and look good. What will you tell
Yeah.
somebody? How will he still do that and not
Yeah.
miss out on the lifestyle? Because people are thinking they're going to miss out on their lifestyle. How can they do that in bits or in chunk as long as they can carry or as much as they can carry?
Mm.
And then,
As far as the idea is there, right?
yeah.
Even if you are a medical doctor can still do things in the agri value chain. You are a medical doctor, for example, and you have large followers on social media. I've seen some of them. They have large followers on social media and stuff like that. And you want to maximize the potential in agribusiness. The first thing you should look at is, first of all, look at the value chain. Okay, now you can't get your hand dirty with the farming aspect of it, right?
Mhm.
There is a transportation aspect of it. Okay, fine, you can't buy equipment or go to the village and go and transport yourself. There's a transformation part of it, right? I have a lecturer friend.
Explain transformation.
Good. I have a lecturer friend, right?
Hmm.
That presently what she does is turn beans to paste and powder and sell. She does this in her house, makes it in a clean way, package it, and advertise on social media, and they buy. And I can also shock you further that the fact that she is not the one that does the grinding and the packaging, right? So she just had that idea, brought the resources together, right? Get the beans, get the local women to do the peeling and every of those stuff, pay them. That's also a way of employing them. Before you know, you have 3 persons working for her. They take them to the grater. They use first of all, she started using what is it called? What do they call that stuff in the kitchen that they used to grind in the kitchen? Blender in the kitchen. She
Blender.
was using
Okay.
blender first, a Binaton big blender like this. She was using in the kitchen. She used that, but when the supplies was getting so much on her, before she had to start using a bigger machine outside to grind to powder before she package in a fine nylon. For example, this is shea butter. This is one of my products. This is shea
Awesome.
butter. So
Uh-huh.
people go to the market and go and buy those 100 naira shea butter that they cut and stuff like that and stuff like that. I thought of doing a
Hmm.
thing like this. And anybody that says I can put this on any shelf in the world. If you go to a
Yeah.
supermarket and you meet something
Correct.
like this,
Absolutely.
pick it. That's transformation, right? So there's a whole lot of opportunity in agro product transformation right now. So if you don't want to get your hands dirty, focus on transportation and transformation. Pick this product, and there's a whole lot of opportunity to diversify this product. There was a day I ate chips, right? Those dried when you are traveling on the road, you see those chips they sell. I saw one that was
Yeah.
looking a bit strange, right? I called them and I bought one. When I tasted it, it was made with beans and dried like akara. That is so
Mm-hmm.
dried. So somebody have thought of how to make akara look so dried and increase the shelf life. So there's a whole lot you can do about transformation, transforming product, pick product and transform. There's even now a whole lot of us have friends abroad that are missing Nigerian food.
Yeah.
There are people that are making it big time by just packaging some of these local food you call local food as small as snails, like I don't know what they call it in Yoruba, would have called it snails, right? Package it, clean it very well, put it in the nylon, freeze it, and send it down to them, and they buy it in this. So there's a whole lot of products you can pick like that and work on. Why you can,
Awesome.
if you are that type that can also not get your hands in those dirty stuff, you can act as intermediary. There are a lot of companies that just need someone that can connect them to a source of product. First of all, where do you start from? Look at your village. There must be a product from your village. Sometimes it's just to connect people with these persons that are selling, that are doing oil. Look at oil, for example. I have connected somebody, a company to those that does kernel, palm kernel, right? All the
Yeah.
company needed was palm kernel sharp. And in their village, in those states I connected them with, they were wasting it. It was a waste. They pay people to come and pour it away. So there are a whole lot
Okay.
of,
The truth about it is this.
yeah,
Is there like a community that someone has to be part of to get information? Because let me
yeah,
not go into how you implement the information now. Let
yeah,
me go into
exactly,
getting the information first,
yeah,
whether you implement it or not. Let me first of all say, okay, is there like a platform? Can they get this information? Because a lot of people don't know.
yeah,
You get,
yeah.
people don't know,
I
so
think
they
that's
don't
why
know
we are
what to
doing
do.
something like this. That's why we are doing something like
Yeah,
this as well.
yeah. So, first of all, this is tiny little actions. Today we are discussing wealth in the land, exploring agri business and its value chain. So, we are going to say try to cover everything agri. If we try to do that, we won't finish that in 3 days or 1 week. But
Okay,
then, as much as we are trying to be fast, we are still trying to give you so much value. His name is Uyi Asemota. He's an agri entrepreneur and he's been running this business for a long time. He has a company doing it. He's in crops, and as in plant-based agri, and he's going into livestock, meat, cattle ranching, and all that. It means he knows a whole lot of things. So I think you should be in the comment section asking questions. I noticed that some of us are in these businesses too. Some of us are looking into getting into this business too. Uh, Uyi Asemota is the right person to meet. I could talk smart, but I don't know anything about agri. I could be in the business. I don't know anything about that value chain completely.
yeah,
I'm experiencing it over time. So, Uyi,
yeah,
this is my question, like I was saying before,
okay.
is there a community? If there is, how do people find the community? How do people get attached to one community that gets them the right information so that they don't go up about picking stuff, going to Google and all that? Because most information that is premium will not be seen on Google. Most
Google, yeah.
information that is tactical will not be seen on Google. So can you like enlighten us?
Yeah, there are a whole lot of communities you can join. Depends on what you are, the area you are looking at, and most of the time they are product specific, right? And if first of all, I must tell you that Facebook is a resource, right? There are a
Let me
whole lot
even
of
before
farming
you
communities.
continue,
Yeah. Mm.
I'm asking this for both myself too because I want to join that community. I want to enter this value chain seriously.
All right,
So as you're sharing,
all
know
right.
that I have my selfish interests as well.
Yeah, of course. Everybody is allowed. We can all be farmers.
Yeah,
All right. So, Facebook, like I was saying, Facebook is even a resource on its own. There are a whole lot of farming communities on Facebook. Oh, let me even
yeah.
tell you, supply.ng started from a request on Facebook. Like
Oh,
somebody just
awesome.
posted, yeah, somebody just posted on Facebook. I need this product, I need this product. Please, if you know any person that can connect me with having this product, I looked at it. Before, when I get those kind of posts, I just think, because of my network, I just say, oh, this person has it. I will just call this person. Somebody is looking for this, so they contact the person, or just find the person there. So I just post and like, why don't I do this myself? I think I will talk about the story another day and how I was able to run around that. It was actually a side hustle at that time. I did it like a
Yeah.
side hustle, but it became the main hustle and paying the bills and every of this stuff. So there are a whole lot of resources on Facebook, some farming group, as the case may be on Facebook, that they share some of this information. I know when I was looking for, there was a time I was looking to process cashew nuts for export. I was looking for information so much. Most of the information I got were from, that was when I discovered that there are cashew farmers groups on Facebook that is very, very active. Slave
Wow.
farmers group on Facebook that is very active. They ask us who guide me for guidance and information on Facebook. There are
Yeah.
groups that just join those groups. When you time you join, take your time, join those groups. You'll be able
So
to get information from them.
if I join farmers.ng right now,
Yeah,
today, will I
yeah.
get access to a lot of this information?
You will. You will.
So
You will, and you can.
guys, let me type it here. Farmers, what's the URL again?
For what?
Your URL for your company.
Oh, supply.ng is offline
Supply,
presently.
sorry. It's offline presently.
Supply.ng.
Okay, so
Yeah,
they can chat you up and all
supply.ng.
that. I wanted to
Yes, of
type in the
course. You can
URL
start.
here so people
Okay,
can
it's supply.ng. That's just
supplies.ng. So
yes,
connecting
supply.ng.
supplies of NG. I know we have all, people from Germany listening, watching
Yeah.
us. We have people from Namibia. We have people in Nigeria, Taraba precisely watching us. So
Oh wow.
just connect Uyi Asemota, and
I,
then
I I remember
you
going to Taraba.
understand.
I remember going to Taraba to go and look for white hibiscus flower. Like yes, I spent 5 days in Taraba looking for white hibiscus flower, and I could only come back with one bag. I needed a trailer. I came back with one bag.
Wait, do we have white hibiscus flower?
Yes, in Taraba. Yeah, I had to go to Niger to go and get that.
That place is funny.
I wish I was in my other house. I should have showed you there.
I
I should
have
have.
this. I have this coffee bean, and it's from
Yeah.
Taraba.
You see, there's a whole lot in Taraba. So, like a person,
Oh,
that person watching
I
from Taraba, there's a whole
mm,
lot you can do in Taraba. So, it's just full, my brother. It's just full.
awesome,
So, you
awesome,
can get
awesome.
information from. It is not done here for commercial purpose. Yes, I think somebody said it's not
Yeah.
done for commercial purpose. That's where they missed it, right? Actually, I got just one bag. I was disappointed. I needed a trailer load of white hibiscus. I got
I
one
need
bag,
to I need to
and
show her
guess
I need to
how
show her
much
comment on
one ton?
screen. I
Yes,
need to show her
guess how
comment on
much one
screen.
ton? Do you guess how much one ton of hibiscus flower, white hibiscus flower is right now?
I can't guess. I didn't even know it exists. So
Four
how much
hundred
is
and
it
fifty thousand. 450,000 naira.
per bag
Ton.
per ton?
Ton.
Oh, that's
So that
crazy
is fine in
expensive.
Taraba.
Now,
Tell me
now
why
let's
farmer
dwell
in
on that.
Taraba will
Let's dwell on that. Let's dwell on that.
yeah,
What is the value chain for white hibiscus flower? What is it used for? What are the uses? Let's make
a
people
whole lot.
understand why they should go, because that alone, people go into that business can
Yeah.
achieve a whole lot. So let's dive into that. Let's know that okay, we give them, if it's one thing we give to them or we give to
Okay,
the audience
basically
that they
white.
can implement.
Okay, I think I will just include both the white and the red hibiscus flower. The one that most of them know is
Awesome.
the red hibiscus flower that they use for zobo, right? While the white
Yeah.
hibiscus flower is majorly for export presently, and those in the villages presently they use it to cook like soup. In Taraba, I know in
Okay.
Taraba they use it for soup and the case indeed, but there are a whole lot of companies in Europe and Asia that uses it as a base product for manufacturing of drinks and wines and those different stuff. You taste it, it's same white hibiscus flower, if you taste it, it's fat, right? So they extract those content. They are actually ingredients that can be added to other products. So they extract those contents and use it for manufacturing of different products. So like those ones I was looking for was for export. There are companies that are into it presently. They come to Nigeria, pick them and process them, dry them to particular moisture content and use it for export. So most farmers presently in Nigeria don't do it in commercial quantity. They do it just little planting and stuff like that. So to be able to get that large quantity, you have to be going from like I remember then I went to Penn State. Like at the end of it, I ended up leaving Nigeria and going to Niger to go and stay in a Niger village for close to a month before I could get that trailer load of that stuff. So
Okay.
it's for manufacturing. Majorly, it's needed in the manufacturing industry as food additives, as wine additives, and as the case, especially in Europe and Asia presently. And I think for a person that wants to go into that, just a little secret, there is the issue of ensuring that it does not it's not planted with chemicals. Because most of these flowers,
Okay.
our products are started being rejected. I think one of these days we'll talk about accessibility of agro products in the international market.
Yes. Okay.
That's also a big concern per se. Most of some of these there's the particular chemical that is not needed in the stuff in the flower, and if it's discovered, your product can be rejected, and they will ask you to come and
Oh.
take your product back. So both the white and the black, both the white and the red, you see, is for export and for manufacturing of drinks, manufacturing of drinks, food additives, coloring, as the case may be. It's a high-end, high-level, you know. If you go to Export Promotion Council, it's one of the products on the radar. White hibiscus flower, red hibiscus flower, moringa, gum arabic, soya bean, most of those products. Just go to even if
So
you go to
so
Export Promotion
this
Council,
is
you get this
I'm
information.
I'm I'm curious about the white and red. I'm not a
Okay.
I'm not a for the wine people. I'm not a rosé or a white wine person. I'm a red
Yeah,
wine person.
yeah,
Now, is
yeah.
it possible to make red wine out of the red hibiscus flower?
Yeah, it's possible. If it's possible to make your zobo drink, right, through fermentation, from water, so it's possible. It's very possible.
But for me, I think it's not because people would have tried it. Or is it that we're not creative enough as
Do you think
entrepreneurs?
they are not trying it? You think
I
they are
don't
not
know.
trying it? Yeah, they won't
I
tell
don't
you
know if
that.
we
You
were
see,
trying it.
most of these are say. I think that's an area. That's where I am a little bit more passionate now about transforming our product here. I'm no longer too comfortable with the fact that we just bundle these raw materials together and send it down the refine and bring it back to us. Let's start thinking of how to change this product, experiment with it, and turn it into different products to the final product before we send them out,
Yeah,
right? It can be done, but because
it
we've
can be
not just
done.
seen the reason,
I'm
yeah,
actually looking at a part two of this, like a comeback.
yeah,
Before that comeback, I'm going to interview Olushola. Olushola has a
oh,
list of all the value chain of our product, each
all right,
state, all the
mm-hmm.
products, natural resources, plant based,
In this product, yeah,
mining resources that are in a particular state. Then
yeah,
we'll break down we'll break down the value in all of them, all
all of
the
them,
everything you can make with each of these products. You get what
yeah,
I mean? So I'm
sure,
going to bring him on, and I'll do a repeat of this. Now, when I'll do
awesome,
that repeat, uh, I'm sure you
yeah,
would have tested if we can use the hibiscus flower, the red one, to make red
yeah.
wine. Yeah,
Okay, well,
I
we
believe
can
if
give
that
it,
information is out, if that information
we
is
can give
out,
it a try.
if that
And
information is out,
maybe there's a student, maybe there is a food and science technology student listening to us or a lecturer. You can do that for us. Maybe if you can prove that to us and we'll pick it up, we can help you push it and ensure you get funding to to domesticate that. I
right.
know Rama is big in that area, so yeah.
So this is not my challenge. Our
All right,
school system is not doing enough.
for the agriculture base,
Yes,
yeah,
I think they are downplaying it. No laboratory, no research, no R&D centers.
yep,
You get.
yeah,
So
yeah,
because now they are not doing it,
yeah,
I don't blame them. I don't see anything wrong with them not doing it.
yeah,
Most, I believe, most countries even have worse than what we have. You get what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah,
then we now have companies that can do this. We have
yeah,
private sector companies that can do this.
yeah,
Is there a way that each of these companies either can collaborate, or one, like your company, can set up
yeah,
education for this? Now,
yeah.
I'm not saying education for, to collaborate with government agency to do a what is it called? A skills
Like I
acquisition.
said, yeah,
That is
yeah,
popular. That is overkill. People have
yeah,
bastardized it. I hate it I don't know why I hate it, but I don't like it. But
yeah.
is there like a very functional set of or kind of education that will build an agri business or an agri entrepreneur into being efficient and growing this, because people are suffering. So they hear that, oh, there's this in this industry, and then, or there's this crop, there's this value chain in agri, and they rush to it. The next thing, they're
Yeah.
looking for government loans or
But
government
yeah,
grants to support
yeah,
themselves. And then the governments are not going to give you loans if they're not getting anything out of it. So for me, I think it's just a political game from them.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm thinking, can there be an education, something that educates people and then brings them into the system informed?
I think I believe it's going to be more of
I'm putting you on the spot so you start
orientation.
thinking of. I'm putting you on the spot so I start
Orientation.
thinking of something.
All right. So I think it will be more of an orientation and reorientation thing. I don't think it's an education kind of stuff because nobody wants to go back to school and say start learning the rope all through again. People do want to at a
People
point.
are people are paying for online courses,
Yeah,
Facebook
they just want to
advertising,
they want to
Google
make money.
advertising.
They want to
This is
make money,
money.
this
Show them
stuff
the
and
money. Show them the money.
yeah, so when there is people pay for courses, if they have been able to get that orientation that it is profitable, it's going to be profitable. Most of persons will fall for if I call for a cryptocurrency kind of training, for example, and tell them that when you do this and do this, you're going to get, they might rush towards it. But I need to be able to orientate them that when you get this, when you get into this value chain, you'll be able to get this and get this and get that. I think when there is
Whose
that
job?
orientation,
Whose job is the orientation going to come
my job
from?
and
Because
your job is
the
my
cryptocurrency
everybody.
job, the cryptocurrency guys have done their job, making sure they
Yes,
pay a lot of money on advertising for people to be
yeah,
aware and want to now get informed or get
yeah.
educated to be in the business. Now,
Okay,
who is going to do this?
I think most of us farmers right now are beginning to do everything to ensure we pass those information out. My setting up an NGO was for not like this. My accepting to even talk like this on a platform like this is to also ensure that we want to bring as much persons, yeah, we want to bring as much persons as possible to that rural extension and development jobs. Yeah, so we want to really most of our rural. Yeah, thank you, Julia. I think Julia Ekere. Yeah, I think rural extension fine. But most of our rural extension, let me shock you, most of our rural extension agents that finished from same school where I finished, most of them are in the bank because everybody wants to make their money and stuff like that. You will also blame them because there is no platform for these guys to be able to swing into action when they finish school and the system absorbs them. Before now, there are farmsteads. You see farm estates, right? You see
Mhm.
structured kind of farming. You see big farming that people, everybody want to run to Shagai Farm, for example. I don't know if you've heard of Shagai Farm in Cotonou, right? That
I've
guy
not heard of
so
that.
much said, oh, Shagai Farm, you can Google them. A whole lot. That guy, he, so much innovation in farming. When you are in the premises of Shagai Farm, you want to be a farmer. Everywhere is neat, everywhere is cozy, everywhere is white collar. Let me use that. So there are no much of such opportunities of most farmers that went into. I look at so many persons that want to go into farming today. You know, I think I don't know if I showed you the plan for the stuff. One of the plan I was looking at for the ranch and stuff like that. I posted it on my WhatsApp group and people were like, oh wow, this is stuff and this is stuff. Most persons that want to go into agriculture right now don't think of making it an exit like a long term thing. We keep preaching agriculture like just plant. Most of them want to harvest in 1 year and forget about it and stuff like that. So we need, apart from reorientating,
Yeah.
building estates. Farmers abroad, most farmers abroad build a whole lot of estates from generation to generation. They keep passing it on, and you know this is a family kind of business, and that can easily absorb people in. So it is a reorientation, and yeah, we can't leave the government out of it as well. When the platform
So
is there,
if Evelyn made a statement. Evelyn is from Namibia. She said, "Farming and agriculture business is fueled by passion, just like any other business should be. Any other business can,
true.
however, tap into the value chain of it. Agricultural
No,
business not only boosts an economy of a country, but it's also a great tool for um, solving social economic issues in communities."
I agree with that
Yeah.
absolutely. Even I agree with
Sh-
you absolutely. Like there was a time I
Yeah.
told my state governor, I wrote to my state governor and say, my state was having an issue of those returnees that were brought back from abroad. I said, okay, fine, we're prostitutes and those stuff that were returned back. I wrote a letter and said, please, sir, give me 100 of these people. Just give me two things. Give me 100 of these people and give me land. Let me take the willy 100 back to this land and give me 2 years and see these people will not richer than they would have been if they're out there. I didn't hear back from them. So you can use the
Yeah,
instrument of yeah, you can use the
that is
instrument
my
of
this is my challenge. This is my
yeah,
challenge.
yeah.
I see this as the inefficiency of the entrepreneurs
Okay.
in Nigeria
How do you
because
mean?
this is what I mean. You have a great idea. Huh?
Yeah,
The idea is so big, a billion
yeah,
naira idea or a
yeah,
$1 billion idea.
yeah.
But you don't want to humble yourself or get like self-aware to break your
Yeah.
idea into tiny bits that you can,
Okay.
attack easily and
Okay.
get results and give yourself 15, 20 years to to achieve
To
that
execute,
goal.
yeah. Yeah.
You
Okay.
execute every day on it for 20 years to achieve that goal, but you have the idea, you just want to, who is the senator that will help this? Who is the
Okay.
governor? Who is the local government chairman? Who is the president? That when I give my proposal, they give me all the money I need to build.
Hmm.
That is that is so inefficient. And then you are going back in circles and you're not solving any problem, but you're busy talking about it. And then you say
Okay.
you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah. I agree. I agree to an extent with you, but not totally.
Okay,
Most of this,
educate
let's
me.
be frank, if sometimes I belong to a group and sometimes we just come together and come and talk about our struggles, right?
Okay.
When it comes to entrepreneurship in Nigeria and in some of the West African countries I've been privileged to work in, it's not for the faint-hearted. Even like I talk about agriculture, when I'm talking to people about agriculture, I actually tell them, thank God even also mention stuff, but it's stuff avoid by passion. See, agribusiness in West, let me use Nigeria for example, it's not for the faint-hearted, right?
Hmm.
That's why most of the time I
At
want
all.
to
It's not for. It's not.
everybody to
Not part
it's
of
not
entrepreneurship in. Not part of
for the
entrepreneurship is
faint-hearted.
for the
Yeah,
faint-hearted in Nigeria.
exactly. So
So
most of the time, every entrepreneur wants a point of leverage. And I'm sorry to say, apart from the government, and maybe some philanthropists, which most time will also end up being government officials and stuff like that, there's always
mhm.
not a starting point that you can push if it did not come from your family and it did not come from the government or a philanthropist, right? So most of the time, most of these entrepreneurs are looking for a spark that can start this off. It will be detrimental for you to start a thing and say for the next 5 years you are still pushing at a point where no profit is made, no gain is made, and the idea is not moving beyond that point. You burn out, right? So you will also blame an entrepreneur that sees the fact that the only available resources to them or safety net. Safety net is completely absent, right? I've gotten my
Yeah.
hands on. I remember during the when the border was locked, right? My goods
Hmm.
worth close to 5 million naira was destroyed across the border. If I was in a society where they were taking it, I can easily draw succor from maybe the bank and draw succor from maybe government fund that is kept somewhere for such an activity. But I have to start
Yeah.
from the scratch. So if I am to start again, for example, you won't blame me if I try to look for a succor at that point. So it still boils down to the system, to the systemic kind
But
of like,
this is now where my challenge is.
all right.
With Are you saying without the support from the government agencies or the government persons or the politicians, you will not build your dream?
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
There
because
must there
every,
must be a support. Yeah, there
whether
must be a
it's in
point of support.
Nigeria now, whether
Yeah,
it's in Nigeria
mm,
or in the
yeah,
United States or
yeah, true.
in China or even in South Africa, a
Yeah,
government policy will be released that will
yeah,
kill or cripple a business instantly.
yeah.
So
Of course.
businesses
Yeah,
that come out, a lot of them die. It's not
yeah,
like the
true.
chances over there are better than the chances over here.
Yeah,
There are some
true.
things we enjoy here that they don't enjoy over there.
True.
You get what I mean?
True, I
Now,
agree.
now, let me share a backstory of myself. I have beards. It's no longer as much as it used to be, but I
Mm.
know how I got it. By the time I started growing this beard, I had learned how to make beard oil. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
I wasn't using it for myself alone. I sold it. I sold beard
yeah.
oil for a
Mm.
while, and it was profitable from the get go. From
Yep,
from my third to 10 customers, it was purely profitable. If I had wanted to, if I scaled it, it would have been something else. You get?
yep.
I'm saying people are not building businesses that are efficient or designed for success because they lack the right
Mm.
education. You get?
Okay.
So the
I,
point the point we are at right now is the point of education. Now,
yeah,
I, I, I- I'm not willing. I'm not ready to take the responsibility to start educating people around Greek. Are you willing? I don't know. I can't say you are not willing or you're not ready. I can say you are willing, but you're
yeah,
not ready. So you are looking
yeah.
for a particular amount of fund before you go into that area. So what is going to happen? Where, what should we do? And how fast?
Okay, well, well, maybe I might not have maybe I don't have the comprehensive answer about that. But
Julia
if
is
you put,
asking me what are the things we are enjoying, please.
yeah, I yeah. So I think the very large interest.
Let me mention one thing we are enjoying. You can go to any local government in your area and ask for the cooperative how to set up a cooperative society around Agric, and you do that in with less than 45,000 naira, and then you can start running your business with a cooperative system. No
Mm,
tax, no, as in nothing happens to you. You run legitimate business like you're running an LLC.
mm,
You get? You can use a business name to do your business. You get? And your first 5 years in Nigeria, nobody is expecting you to pay your tax, even though you must file your documents, your numbers. Nobody will ask you for tax for the first 5 years. So you have a whole lot of time to play around with and use the money as you like, whether you make profit or not. So those are just a few. I can't begin to mention all of them from the top of my head. So I just wanted to point that out. There are a lot of things we are enjoying here
you
that
know,
they are not enjoying there.
Raman, it is beautiful on paper, but when the reality sets in, but it's fine. We hope to
That's
get
what I'm
that.
saying. This
Yeah.
is about taking the action, not looking at the papers. Take the action
you know,
in bits. Take the action in bits, not on
yeah,
paper. You get? Because
yeah,
the education tool is on paper. What you learn is what you are going
yeah,
to implement from. So if you finish
exactly.
learning and you begin to overthink the process of what did I learn?
Yeah,
How will I apply it? Oh, this
yeah.
is what the news
You
is
know,
saying. You will not start.
Julia, Rama, sorry, I said Julia. Rama, one thing I also need you to understand, right? I don't know if you were the one I was talking with when I talked about the fact that most of the persons in the agribusiness sector right now, like the majority of the persons in the agribusiness sector right now, let me use that word, are
Mm-hmm.
not formally educated persons. So some of these big ideas you're talking about, some of these innovations are looking at, you are going to have to take a
You are an
pain.
educated person. You are an
Yeah,
educated person.
yeah, of course. So you are going to take the
Yeah.
pain to break it down. I do most of my stuff in the rural areas, right? And let's be frank. One of the problems we have with the agri sector is the fact that close to 90% of what we do in agriculture presently is subsistence. Take it
Hmm.
or leave it. So most of the farmers, and if you go to the rural areas, look at those that are moving into farming in those rural areas, they will be the age bracket of 45, 50 and above. So when you are bringing some innovation down, you have to start first of all chasing those that are potential, that are supposed to be the ones to be the implementers, the youth. You have to chase them, you orientate them, sometimes bribe them. Sometimes I use the word bribe in quotes like give them incentives. There's a project I designed, right? And it was
Mm-hmm.
to raise some scrubs and stuff like that. I ended up designing a salary scheme for those that will be working on that project for 1 year as an additional incentive, just to encourage them to stay, to make that project a little bit bigger. So we still have that problem of the sector being predominantly like subsistence, and those that are involved are those that just are in their twilight and they are going and they just use it as fun and stuff like that. So these innovations they are talking about, there must be that backup, right, to be able to
This is what
push
I'm
this, and
this is
that's
what
where
I'm this
people
is what
like,
I'm thinking. This is what
all
I'm
right,
thinking. As NDH is planning something, I'm thinking more at scale,
okay,
macro
yeah,
level. Now I'm
yeah,
thinking this because of the comments we are getting and the what we are discussing. I feel
yeah,
okay, Uyi, let's do something about it. I'm willing. Let's run
okay,
something through a cooperative society about around this. Focus
okay,
more on the education, and
education,
then
yeah,
how you teach people. You know how some school system are when you come out of their school, they have a ready job for you. You get.
yeah,
So let it could be finish the education, come and work for this company, or finish the education, go and start
yeah.
your business, and then we create a system that
like
will
an
support you.
like an internship kind of stuff, and like
Internship kind
I
of
think I
stuff,
think two,
and
two
then go start.
companies two
Can we
companies
do
are
that?
presently trying. Yes, we can, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Even my NGO will be willing to also collaborate in that regard. IITA
Awesome.
started something like that. IITA did something like, I think they've run it for like 2 or 3 years now, where they take a
Yeah.
young person through the stuff, and at the end of it, give them a little grant to go and implement. I think there's a company too. I don't know. I think is it PZ? Is doing something like, I will
Now,
look for that
because
and show you. Mm.
because you are thinking about it and not remembering it, it means they didn't do a good job. They didn't do a job that is
No,
sustainable.
no,
They didn't
no,
do a
you
job
won't
that
be.
can take care
No,
of
maybe
itself.
they did. Maybe they did. I am the one that just did not, was not interested in knowing, because I know how some of those stuff goes, and at the end of it, I'm big on implementation, right? If you are putting such a stuff together, I want to monitor it for the next 3 years, right? That very first test
Awesome.
that you train. Let's monitor
Great.
them for the next 3 years, because certainly, like I said initially, farming is not for the faint-hearted. It's not a business, so you need to monitor some of it. You need to hold them by the hand, like the my NGO in Chad, we do every year, which is called the hackathon, where we take young persons, Aya boot camp, African International Business Organization boot camp. So when they
Yeah.
finish for like 6 7 days, they are all hands on in the field, trying to on the field and trying to get some
Yeah.
of those agreements. So they go back to their region, they are selected from their different regions, gathered in a particular farm in Gemina. So they teach them and stuff. So when they are going back, there are incentives for
Yeah.
them. They go back and implement. Once every 3 months, somebody goes there to either visit them or they come to the center to come and tell how their goods are doing, how their stuff are doing. Like the last
Yeah.
time they sent a picture of one that went into onions production. When I saw the production that guy did at the end of it, I was impressed. Even myself, I was impressed. So there needs to be that follow up, not just setting up a program to teach. Everybody teach. If you go to enterprise agency right now. Those guys run courses on agribusiness. I was their mushroom instructor for like 3 years. They uh, run on agriculture and those stuff year in, year out. But I stopped at a point with that mushroom, because what I discussed with them was, if I'm training 15 students, for example, in Abuja,
Mhm.
in the next year, I should have at least 10 mushroom farmers in Abuja that I will follow up. And I volunteered and said, you know what? I will
That's a
train.
high number. That's a high
Yes, I
number
will.
because
Yeah,
you're not
no,
being fair to the number. If let's even make it a worst case scenario. If you're training
yeah,
15,
like what,
make sure there should be at
15,
least 3 to 2 mushroom
no.
farmers,
And I
which is a
even
good number.
volunteered and said, I
If
put
you
every
focus
one
on
of
the
them,
number, you can do more.
yes, I put every one of them on a WhatsApp group and said, I am going
Hmm.
to monitor you. Whatever you need and stuff like that, I will monitor you. I'll provide, this is outside the normal stuff of like, you're not paying for this. But the first year, none of them did anything. Second year, none of them did anything. It was later I discovered most of them were just going through the training. And most of those guys that were on those trainings, that were accepted for those trainings, were people
Hmm.
that were not, that had other jobs. So like, and stuff like, so
Was it a free training?
it was sponsored. No, it was not free. It was sponsored. It was sponsored. I don't know. I think
Sponsored.
they, yes, it was
The
sponsored.
students that came, was it free for them?
I think they came freely, but it was like a scholarship, a sponsorship, and stuff like
So
that.
yeah, that is the issue. I think if we are even going to do a project like that, it will not be free and it will not be cheap,
Yeah,
so that we can
I
focus
agree.
on giving the people results. You get what I
I
mean?
agree.
So
No, it's
I
fine.
I I, I am a huge believer in nothing is for free.
It's free. Yeah,
You get, because
yeah,
this is what I've noticed. An NGO goes to a community to do stuff. The community people come out and thinking, oh, politician is coming to do a campaign.
yeah.
So
True.
let's grab as much as we want to grab and then go back home and relax. So they are coming
Yeah,
to grab
yeah,
and then take certificates and show online. Like it happens
yeah,
on LinkedIn, it happens on
yeah.
Facebook. They take certificates and it shows, but nobody is willing to implement. You
Yes,
get,
yeah.
so these are the conversations, but it is the duty of the entrepreneur, not the government. I'm not saying the government will not play their role, but right
Yeah.
now, this at the stage we are, if we keep shouting the government will not move forward. We have to take our fate in our hands. We are not willing to leave the country to Canada or to the United States or to any other country that is better. We are going to solve the problem here. You get what I mean?
True.
So
I agree. I absolutely with you. I
it
agree.
is what it is.
Yeah. It is,
Thank you so much.
man.
I'm grateful. We have done over an hour. We've done an hour, 11 minutes or so. I'm
Yeah, true.
excited. I hope you are going to do I hope you are ready for the part two of this. We are going to come back for the part
Oh, of
two
course. Yeah.
when
Of course.
we will have tried some things and then come back for the part two.
Yeah. You what? I didn't get that.
As I would have tried some stuff, try implementing some stuff. I'm a huge
Yeah.
fan of execution. Would have tried
Yeah.
implementing some stuff and then come back for the part two of this conversation. I,
Awesome. Yeah, true.
I'm super excited that you came on. I know I gave you a very short
Thank you
notice. I'm
so
super
much.
excited that you came up. Thank you.
Yeah,
So, guys, if you have
thank you so much,
questions, if you have
Raman.
questions for Uyi Asemota, he's an agric expert. He's not. I'm not sure he's going to leave this industry anytime soon at all,
I'm going
because
nowhere. I'm going
he's even working on
nowhere.
he's even working on a cattle ranching system that is going to disrupt what is happening and probably might even solve the problem between the herdsmen and farmers currently.
Absolutely.
So
It
let's
will.
let's watch out for him and let's be careful for him because
You
he's
know?
pretty like a dangerous man, like other country guys will call us. We are dangerous people.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, thank you so
I
much,
know.
Uyi. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I'm grateful for meeting with you and going live with you. Hey guys,
You're welcome, Raman.
see you guys next week where I'll bring in a new guest to come give us some tiny little action tips. Thank you guys and good night. Have an amazing
Good night,
weekend.
guys.